What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the World's Greatest News Reviews. I'm your boy T Crawler, and today I have with me my daughter.
Oh, Khayla.
That's Khayla, guys. It's my daughter. So, and today we're going to be talking to you about the season 9 finale of The Walking Dead. So, for those that know about me, and of course, Spider-Man is my favorite comic character, but one of my favorite TV series is The Walking Dead. And but anyway. Khayla here has been, she's been with me by my side watching this show almost from the beginning. She saw that I was watching it and asked what it was, and she was looking for a series to watch. So she actually binge watched it and caught up with me. So, so when she caught up, we just started watching it together. It's kind of like our bonding thing. That's what we do. And so with season 9, we had a lot of things going on. We had a new showrunner. Her name is Angela King, and with that, I think that she brought a lot more eeriness to it, back to how it used to be. I don't know how you feel about how she changed the show at all, because when I say that, I'm talking about, like, you know how you used to have your group of people go out, and you used to actually be worried about people going out, like who would die, and then after a while it just got boring, like you knew certain people weren't going to die, and then when she got on, it was like now you have the... Oh, okay, and let me say this, spoilers, okay, for everybody out there. If you haven't watched season 9, watch it and then come back and watch this. But, so we have the Whispers in this season. They came in after the mid-season finale. And with the Whispers, that brought the eeriness back to it. So to recap a little bit on the season, the biggest event was Rick dying, right? So
he's not dead. Oh my god.
So those of you that know, Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes, announced shortly after that episode had aired, it was episode 5, the beginning of the season 9, episode 5, that on Talking Dead, he mentioned that he's not really dead. As everybody that saw, the viewers saw that he wasn't dead. He got in the helicopter, he got rescued, he got flown away. What happened was, from what Rick says, is or Andrew Lincoln says, there's AMC is going to start original movies, kind of like Netflix has their original movies and stuff, and they're going to have some movies about Rick Grimes, what happened to him, because there was a 6-year time lapse from when he got rescued to where they're at now in the show. Of course, everybody he was with thought Rick died. They saw him on the bridge when he shot the dynamite exploded. Right. Obviously, Khayla's not happy with that because she wishes that everybody would know that he's not dead. But I mean, what would you think would happen if they knew he wasn't dead, though?
They try and get him back.
Oh, don't you? Yeah, I mean, I guess they would. Yeah. She's so upset about it.
It's so annoying because he's not dead. He's just gone, and now they're gonna start like a movie for him or whatever. It's weird. Like, I don't like that. I'd rather him just be back in the show.
So what was your overall thoughts of the season?
It was disappointing. First of all, Rick's not dead. Second of all, nobody died. It wasn't sad enough.
Well, there's people that died in the season.
Yeah, but they weren't.
So the overall season, not just the finale.
The overall season was good. I liked the Whispers, and like that kind of added, like you said, like for a while at first, obviously they were all scared of the walkers and everything, and so it was like scary going out. But then they got used to it, and then when the Whispers came in, it was like a lot different because I don't know, it just added more like back to the beginning where they're scared again and they don't know what's going on anymore. So I thought that was cool. That's
what made it really good again, because they did know what was going on. So with that, when the season was coming out, what did you want out of this season? Did you want that more eeriness because it was kind of getting boring? Predictable.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I wanted, so I'm kind of glad. I wasn't sure when they said there's a new showrunner. It's always kind of iffy because you have these different showrunners that have come in and they've got let go or fired or whatever the case is because the way they've drawn out certain things. Like way back when Carol's daughter Sophia was lost, they drew that story out way too long, and they came to realize they didn't want that because it was too drawn out. But that particular person, that showrunner, wanted to elaborate on that particular story, so it just fans get bored with certain things that last too long. Like when they were in the jail, they were there too long. It's just, and it's always better when they're out moving around or they were separated trying to find each other. So with that, I got what I wanted out of the season. Did you?
What did you get that you wanted?
I wanted the eeriness. I wanted the like not knowing what was going to happen, and I got it, and that's so. So what parts of the show stood out for you?
Parts that stood out, probably like I don't know. What stood out?
The parts that stood out for me was just the way that you had your group, again, your group dynamic, and like how after mid-season point, okay, your groups were together. Then there was a 6-year lapse where after Rick was dead or gone. But then you find out that the groups kind of disbanded. They weren't together anymore. They kind of separated and did their own thing. So that stood out. Like that kind of stood out for me, and it was like, okay, why? But then they do a pretty good job at explaining what was going on. Another thing that stood out to me was that the second half of the season they were talking about this group of kids that, remember, they took Michonne's old friend. They come across Michonne's old friend, and she had a bunch of kids with her, and they took them into Alexandria, and she was like rekindling this friendship with this old college friend, but found out that she is kind of crazy, and she had a bunch of kids with her that were crazy. And so for me, I'm saying it stood out because it was a group of people that they had to go against, and it began and ended in one episode, and that was awesome. It wasn't like drawn out. So I thought that was pretty cool. What are the things that you like, or actually, what are some things you dislike about what goes on in the season, or just walking in general?
I don't like how every season there's like the group comes across somebody and they always try to rescue them, or it's like they always try and like you at the beginning of the season you learn really fast that you can't help people. Like they're always going to turn bad, they're always going to try and do something, and like the characters always try and save these people, and like it always bites them in the butt later. Like they should just kill them, but they don't, and like it's annoying that they don't get that. Like,
and you think they learn that you don't want to mess around with other groups, or other people don't want to mess around, and so, but they do anyway. They give them a chance. They go out of their way to say, oh, we shouldn't kill them. No, like you've been through the governor, you've been through the freaking Terminus people, those cannibals, you've been through all these people, and you think that you would know, like, okay, there's a new group, we need to like establish like who we are right away. Yeah. But then again, you're like, okay, do they become like the Negan's guys, the saviors? Like, do they end up being the bad guys? So that's one thing I didn't like either. Or I don't like the obvious, like, people going out on their own, being stupid when they're told to stay back. I hate stuff like that. So, who's your favorite character right now? Judith, yeah. Judith is cool. Judith is, she's the baby that was, that's Shane's daughter and whatever. Anyway, so she's little ass kicker, is what Daryl named her. But it was funny because we're watching the season finale, and Khayla's like, what did Daryl call her? Was it little asshole? It's like, no, it was a little ass kicker. So it's like, I don't think he would call a baby a little asshole. Anyway, so I thought it was pretty funny. It was, anyway, so no, but she has become pretty, it was pretty cool how after the 6 years thing, she's wearing Carl's hat, was actually Rick's hat that Rick gave to Carl, and now her brother passed on to her when he died. And she has her dad's gun. Like when you see her in episode, I believe 6, right after Rick was dead, and the time goes up. She's like how old Carl was when he was, had the gun and he was doing his thing. So Judith is actually pretty cool. She's pretty straight to the point. She deals with Negan. She basically tells him, to watch his language. She basically tells him and puts him in his place. And Negan, at this point, he's actually become kind of a likable character, which I don't think anybody would ever thought that would have happened. But Negan has, he felt a special bond with Carl, and because of what Carl has been through as a child in this zombie apocalypse, or whatever you want to call this world. The same thing with Judith. She's dealt with a lot. There's lots she doesn't even know from the regular world, and this is what she was born into. So he has a lot of respect for her, and he kind of listens to her, and he would never hurt her. He goes out of his way in season finale. He goes out of his way to save her and dog, because she wanted the dog saved. So he's still trying to gain their trust because he told Michonne, like, you know, you guys are right. Rick was right. There's a different way to go about this than what I was doing. So let's see. Who's your least favorite character?
I forgot his name. I mean, he's dead now, but
Henry?
Henry, I didn't like him.
Henry was pretty whiny. He was like...
He was just stupid. Like, he was the whole reason that, all those people died, basically, because, like, he went out of his way to try and save that one girl.
Yeah, if he didn't care about Lydia, who's Alpha... So Alpha's the leader of the Whispers. Lydia's her daughter. And she wanted Lydia back, and they said no because Henry had this thing for her. Like, he liked her. And so if it wasn't for Henry, a lot of things wouldn't have happened. So he's my least favorite character, and I know another one for you is Eugene. Every time Eugene comes on the screen and talks, well, I think that the hypothesis of this here thing, and you would put this here, and we put these bullets here, and blah, blah. Like, she really gets annoyed whenever he talks. Like, hey, Eugene, is it safe to cross the street? Well, my hypotenuse would be like, if you do this angle and you do it at this particular moment in time, then, yes, it would be also possible to cross the street.
It's so annoying.
So yeah, he's pretty annoying. I mean, I am amused because she gets so annoyed every time we watch this thing. So, so for me, so what do you think? Okay, so we have the season finale. It was cool because you get the first snowstorm, the first full-blown winter that they've ever had in the South. And I'm like, okay, they've been through winters before, but they do explain that, hey, this is the worst that we've seen. This is the worst we've been hit with winter. So, which makes it cool because you get to see a lot of different things. You get to see walkers barely walking, and they're like half frozen and falling apart. I thought that was cool. I mean, it was just different, and they're freezing, and they're in this blizzard, and they're trying to deal with stuff. The thing that they didn't explain was, like, we saw that the kingdom was all burnt up.
Oh, yeah.
He explains how the water pipes kept bursting and stuff, but there was a fire, a huge fire, and, like, buildings were burnt up, and they were leaving the kingdom to head over to Alexandria, or Hilltop, and then Alexandria. So they went on this trek, and there's a blizzard going on. That was a season finale. To me, that wasn't a season finale. That's not how it should have ended. And I don't know. You see, what did you want in the season finale?
I wanted death.
She wanted death. She wanted more killing. People should have died. That's what she says. She wants gruesome endings. That's why I thought the episode before the finale should have been the episode. That should have been the season finale, because you end that with the scene that comes right out of the comic books where Alpha labels a border of their territory after going incognito into the fair that they're having with all the communities together, finally come back together. And she disguises herself and goes in and takes certain people out. And in the comics, it was a little different. In the comic book, it's the heads were Ezekiel and Rosita and some other pivotal people. In this one, we had a couple. We had, we had Enid. We had Henry, which you didn't like anyway, so she's probably happy he died, which is sad. We had a couple of people that were called the Highwaymen that came across real quick. They were only in a couple episodes. I think they just needed more bodies to put on their heads on the pikes. But we had those people. And then you get Tara, who became the leader of Hilltop because Maggie went off. She's gone. And so you have some people that you've grown to like in this series, which kind of sucked. But even because it was that kind of moment, it should have been the season finale. Like, you get Carol, and the first thing I could think was, okay, there's another child that she decided to care for and take in that was she got to see as a walker. Yeah. Like, it sucked because her daughter, they found her finally, and she was a walker. Then she had those other two girls. The one was just crazy, and she had to put her down. Told her to look at the flowers. Boom, she put her down. Yeah. So Carol, every time she gets close to a child, something bad happens. And so with this, I don't think there's going to be another child that she lets get close to her.
I think she's like you can tell at the end, like the season finale, she's just like done, and she's like not herself anymore, and she's like pushing everyone away and just kind of staying to herself. Like, I don't know. I think she's broken. I think they broke her.
Yeah, I remember she was saying she's going back to what she was. Remember when she was like just didn't care and was killing people, and so she gives Ezekiel back his ring, and pretty much she kind of leaves him and says she doesn't want to do this anymore. She doesn't know what she was thinking. This fantasy, blah blah blah. So yeah, Carol, I think the same thing. I think she's broken.
I think she's kind of because like when he first wanted to like he gave her the ring and stuff, she was kind of like hesitant with it because it was like she didn't want to believe that like something like that could happen. It's like she wanted to like protect herself still, and so I think it hurts more because she like let that happen and she finally gave into it and like tried to accept that it could be better, but then it just got worse. So it's like just like it's kind of like hit her in the face.
Yeah, so it's so I mean, other than that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I just honestly think the episode before the season finale should have been the season finale. That's just my final thought on that whole thing. But we're gonna have more to do with the Whispers because they're not done, obviously, and the people are like picking themselves up, and it showed a little bit in the season finale how they're picking themselves up from losing the people, their loved ones. I'm really curious to see what happens because I was telling Khayla, I said if you look at this in the main group, the only people that are still alive from episode 1 are Carol and Daryl. They're the only ones that were left at the camp that Rick got to. Like from season 1, episode 1, Carol and Daryl are the only ones that are still left around. So, and those have become the fan favorites. He's like, those are like if Carol dies, we riot. If Daryl dies, we riot. Like, yeah, whatever. I think people are still gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah.
So with that, that's all I have for the season finale of The Walking Dead. Anything else that you want to add? No, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we look forward to more Walking Dead, and we come back. Well, hopefully we'll do the season opener for season 10. Season 10 is coming up. Yeah. That won't come up till until October. So in between there, we have Fear of the Walking Dead, which I'm still watching. She dropped out. She couldn't take it anymore, which I understand is a total different pace and everything else, but I'm still with it. So thanks for joining us this episode, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank Khayla for helping me on this one, and we'll see if she wants to do anything else. And so until next time, guys, peace.